Imagine standing at the edge of your dream, just one step away from everything you've ever wanted, and then turning back because the journey felt too hard. How many people have quit just one step before their greatest victory? Today, I'm here to remind you that no matter how many times life knocks you down, it's not over until you win. The journey to success begins with a single decision to never quit until you succeed. Life will challenge you, test your patience, and push you to the edge of your limits. There will be moments when the odds seem stacked against you, when your plans fail, and when everything you worked for appears to slip away. In those moments, the temptation to quit whispers in your ear, convincing you that maybe it is not meant for you. Yet, the truth is that the people who ultimately reach their goals are not the ones who never face failure. They are the ones who face it and refuse to surrender. Quitting is the only guarantee of failure, and as long as you refuse to give up, the possibility of victory still lives. Every great achievement in history has a story of struggle and persistence behind it. Those who achieved extraordinary success were often ordinary individuals who simply would not stop when things became difficult. They continued moving forward despite their doubts, their fears, and the criticism of others. They understood that the road to success is not straight, smooth, or easy. It is often filled with twists, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. But by making the decision to keep going, to rise after every fall, they moved closer to their dreams step by step. The secret is that every time you refuse to quit, you increase your chances of success because every action, every attempt, and every effort brings you closer to the goal you seek. There will always be a gap between where you are and where you want to be, and crossing that gap requires persistence. It requires waking up after a defeat and trying again when the world expects you to stop. It requires trusting the process, even when the results are not visible yet. The path to success is a battle of endurance more than speed. Those who keep moving forward eventually outlast those who gave up along the way. Refusing to quit is a mindset, a choice to believe that what you want is worth the pain, the setbacks, and the time it takes to achieve it. The greatest victories come to those who refuse to allow temporary failure to define their future. Every time you decide to keep moving instead of stopping, you send a message to life itself that you are serious about your dreams. Opportunities often appear after the hardest struggles, and breakthroughs are often found right after the point where most people give up. Refusing to quit is not just about stubbornness. It is about understanding that perseverance shapes destiny. When you make a promise to yourself that you will not stop until you succeed, life will eventually reward your determination, because persistence is a force that bends circumstances in your favor and keeps the door of success open no matter how many times it tries to close. Every obstacle that appears in your path is not a wall meant to stop you, but a doorway disguised as a challenge. Life has a way of presenting difficulties to test how badly you want what you are chasing. Most people see these difficulties and turn away, thinking that the appearance of problems is a sign to quit. But those who understand the true nature of success know that obstacles are often opportunities wearing a mask. Every challenge contains a hidden lesson, a chance to grow stronger, smarter, and more determined. The people who achieve their dreams are the ones who train their minds to look for the seed of advantage inside every problem. Instead of saying, "Why me?" they ask, "What can I learn? And how can this move me closer to my goal?" When you encounter resistance, it is a signal that you are moving beyond your comfort zone into the territory where real growth happens. Obstacles are not punishments, but indicators that you are on a path worth traveling. The greatest success stories are filled with moments where difficulty seemed insurmountable, yet each problem pushed the individual to find a new strategy, develop resilience, and become more resourceful. What appears to be a setback is often the very thing that builds the strength needed to carry the weight of your eventual success. Without challenges, achievements would hold no meaning, because it is the struggle that gives value to the victory. Opportunities rarely arrive in neat and obvious packages. They are often wrapped in hard work, frustration, and uncertainty. A rejection can teach you to refine your approach. A financial challenge can teach you to innovate and find creative solutions. A failure can reveal weaknesses you need to overcome in order to succeed at a higher level. Every problem you face has the potential to shape you into the person capable of holding on to the dream you desire. Many people are quick to give up because they see only the problem, not the possibility within it. Those who keep their eyes open to the hidden opportunities rise above the crowd because they transform difficulties into stepping stones. The key is to change your perspective about obstacles. Instead of seeing them as final blocks to your progress, begin to see them as training grounds for your success. Every time you solve a problem, you become more prepared for the next stage of your journey. Every obstacle overcome is like a silent teacher, equipping you with skills, patience, and endurance. Life rewards those who stay alert for these hidden gifts, because opportunities rarely shout, they whisper from behind the curtain of challenges. If you train yourself to look beyond the immediate struggle and focus on the lesson, every obstacle will serve you instead of stop you, and each difficulty will move you one step closer to the life you are determined to create. Persistence is the force that transforms dreams into reality. It is the invisible bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Many people begin their journey full of excitement and energy, but that energy fades the moment life tests them with delays, difficulties, or failures. Success does not belong to the one who starts the fastest. It belongs to the one who refuses to stop. The one who shows up again and again even when progress is slow and invisible. Persistence is what keeps the fire of your dream alive during the cold nights of doubt and disappointment. It is the inner voice that whispers, "Keep going," when everything around you suggests that you should quit. Every great accomplishment in history is a story of persistence. Inventions that changed the world, businesses that rose from nothing, and personal dreams that seemed impossible all have one thing in common. Someone kept trying after others would have given up. They faced repeated failures, but each failure became a teacher instead of a tombstone. They understood that temporary defeat is not permanent unless you accept it as final. Persistence is the difference between a person who almost succeeds and a person who ultimately does. It is the quality that refuses to let setbacks become excuses and that transforms every now into a step toward the eventual yes. Being persistent does not mean blindly repeating the same action over and over. It means continuously adjusting, learning, and moving forward despite resistance. It is the commitment to stay on the path until you find a way that works. Many doors will close, but persistence teaches you to knock on the next one and the next until the right door opens. This quality is what separates those who live their dreams from those who settle for regret. Life will always test your resolve before granting you the reward, and persistence is how you pass that test. The beauty of persistence is that it compounds over time. Each day that you refuse to give up, you build momentum. Every small action adds up, every repeated effort brings you closer, and every moment of endurance strengthens your character. People may doubt you, circumstances may discourage you, and failures may shake you, but as long as you keep taking steps forward, your chances of success grow larger with every attempt. Even the smallest progress made consistently will eventually lead to breakthroughs that once seemed impossible. When you embrace persistence, you develop an inner strength that cannot be taken away. Obstacles become temporary, delays become lessons, and failures become stepping stones. The habit of never stopping creates a force that life itself cannot resist. No matter how long the journey, no matter how rough the road, the person who persists holds the power to outlast difficulty and transform effort into achievement, because persistence is the heartbeat of every victory and the silent promise that one day, if you do not quit, you will arrive where you intended to go. Failure is never the end unless you accept it as final. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced failure along the way, and often they have faced it more than once. The difference between those who win and those who give up is how they respond when life knocks them down. Failure is not a signal to quit. It is a message that you need to adjust, learn, and try again with greater wisdom. Each setback carries a lesson, and within that lesson lies the key to your next step forward. Temporary defeat is just a part of the process, and those who understand this truth use failure as fuel instead of allowing it to become a chain that holds them back. When failure arrives, it often comes with emotions like frustration, disappointment, and doubt. It can shake your confidence and make you question whether your dream is worth pursuing. But the most successful individuals are those who refuse to let these emotions decide their future. They see failure as feedback, not as a verdict. Every mistake becomes a teacher. Every delay becomes a preparation, and every rejection becomes redirection towards something better. This mindset turns failure into a stepping stone instead of a stopping point, allowing you to keep moving toward your goal with renewed clarity and determination. Life will test your commitment to your dreams by presenting obstacles and moments where things go wrong. The project might fail, the opportunity might vanish, or the plan might fall apart, but none of that defines the end of your story unless you walk away. Temporary defeat is just the universe's way of asking how serious you are about your goal. If you rise from failure with a stronger resolve, you move closer to the breakthrough that will eventually make all your effort worthwhile. Every failure leaves behind a gift for those who are willing to look for it. Sometimes it is a lesson in patience, sometimes in strategy, and sometimes in self-belief. The person who views failure as temporary builds the resilience required to survive the journey to success. They understand that as long as they keep moving, failure cannot define them. Because what looks like the end to some is only a chapter in the story of those who refuse to quit waiting for the perfect conditions is one of the greatest traps that stops people from achieving their dreams. Life rarely presents the ideal moment, the flawless opportunity, or the risk-free path. Those who succeed understand that opportunities are created, not handed out. They do not wait for everything to align. They take action with what they have, where they are, and trust that progress will reveal the next step. Action is the key that unlocks doors. And hesitation only allows time to pass without moving closer to your goals. The person who keeps waiting for the right moment will still be waiting while someone else is building, trying, and learning from the process. Creating your own opportunities requires courage because it means stepping into the unknown without guarantees. It demands that you move forward even when you feel unprepared or unsure. Every successful individual began somewhere, often with limited resources, incomplete knowledge, and no clear path. They started anyway, knowing that motion creates momentum. By acting, they learned, adjusted, and discovered doors that would have remained invisible to those standing still. Opportunity favors the bold because life responds to action, not hesitation. Taking action also builds confidence. Every time you make a move toward your dream, no matter how small, you train your mind to believe that progress is possible. Confidence is not built by waiting, it is built by doing. You may stumble, make mistakes, or even fail in your early attempts, but each effort adds experience and resilience. Those lessons eventually compound into the knowledge and strength needed to seize bigger opportunities. Without taking that first step, none of those lessons arrive, and the dream remains just a thought instead of a reality. When you choose to create opportunities instead of waiting for them, you take control of your future. You begin to see possibilities where others see nothing because your actions generate connections, ideas, and pathways that were invisible before. One conversation can lead to a partnership. One attempt can reveal a new skill, and one bold step can trigger a series of events that change your entire life. Action transforms potential into progress, and progress invites more opportunities. Life rewards those who move with determination and purpose. Even small, consistent actions create ripples that eventually grow into waves of change. Every day that you take initiative, you place yourself ahead of those who hesitate. By refusing to wait for permission or the illusion of perfect timing, you step into the role of creator rather than spectator. The journey may be uncertain and filled with risks, but the act of moving forward ensures that doors will open and chances will appear, because opportunity is rarely found by those who stand still. It is discovered by those who have the courage to act and the persistence to keep creating their own path. Life is a series of rises and falls, and the true measure of a person is not how many times they fall, but how many times they rise again. Every setback is a test of character, a question life asks to see if you are truly committed to your dream. Falling is inevitable because no path to success is perfectly smooth. Plans fail, opportunities disappear, and mistakes are made, but these moments are never the end unless you refuse to get back up. Rising after a fall is an act of courage, a declaration to yourself and the world that you are stronger than the challenge you face. Each time you rise after being knocked down, you become tougher and more resilient. The pain of failure and the sting of disappointment can break some people. But those who choose to stand again discover a deeper level of strength within themselves. They realize that setbacks are not signals of defeat, but stepping stones that prepare them for greater success. Every rise after a fall teaches patience, endurance, and determination, shaping you into the kind of person who can handle the weight of the victory you seek. Falling also gives you perspective. It humbles you and allows you to see where you went wrong, what needs to change, and how to approach the next challenge with more wisdom. Rising is not just about standing on your feet again. It is about standing with new knowledge and a renewed commitment to your goal. It is proof that failure cannot hold power over you when your will to move forward is greater than your fear of falling again. The habit of rising after every fall creates unstoppable momentum. It turns defeat into fuel and transforms setbacks into the very experiences that drive you toward your dream. Every time you rise, you prove to yourself that nothing can keep you down permanently. This builds a mindset of victory, a belief that no matter how many times life pushes you to the ground, you can always get up and continue your journey. Over time, the world begins to bend in favor of those who refuse to stay down, because persistence and resilience eventually open the doors that once seemed impossible to reach. Victory begins in the mind long before it appears in reality. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the inner conversations you have with yourself determine whether you will endure the journey or surrender along the way. A winning mindset is the foundation of every success story because life will always challenge your faith in yourself before it delivers the reward. When you face rejection, delays, or unexpected setbacks, it is your mindset that decides if you will keep moving or turn back. Those who achieve great things understand that the battle is often won internally before it is seen externally. Believing that you will win does not mean ignoring the difficulties you face. It means refusing to let them control your decisions. Doubt may knock on your door, fear may whisper that you are not capable, and circumstances may try to convince you that your dream is out of reach. But a victorious mindset speaks louder than all of them. It tells you to keep going, to take one more step, to try one more time. This inner conviction acts as fuel on the hardest days, giving you the strength to persist when everything else tells you to quit. A strong mindset also shapes the way you interpret challenges. While others see a problem as a dead end, a person with a winning attitude sees it as a temporary hurdle or even a lesson in disguise. This perspective allows you to keep moving forward without being trapped by fear or frustration. It gives you the power to turn obstacles into opportunities because your focus remains on the goal instead of the pain along the way. Your mind becomes a compass that always points you back to your vision, no matter how rough the path becomes. Consistency in nurturing this belief is what transforms it into unshakable confidence. You strengthen your mindset each time you choose courage over fear, each time you rise after a fall, and each time you focus on solutions instead of problems. Over time, this mental resilience becomes a shield that protects your dream from being destroyed by doubt or external circumstances. Life rewards those who refuse to give up mentally because the mind leads the body and actions always follow belief. Holding on to a victorious mindset means carrying an unbreakable promise to yourself that you will reach the finish line regardless of the difficulties. It allows you to endure long seasons of effort without immediate results, because you already see the victory in your mind before the world sees it in your hands. Even when progress feels slow or invisible, that inner belief keeps you moving because you know that persistence combined with the right mindset is an unstoppable force. The moment your mind fully accepts that success is possible and that you are capable, the journey transforms because every action, decision, and effort you make begins to align with the reality of winning. The journey toward any dream will inevitably be filled with challenges, delays, and moments when giving up feels like the easiest choice. But the truth is that the game of life is not over until you decide it is over. Winning requires the willingness to fight until the very end, to keep pushing forward when others have already walked away. Many people quit just before they reach their breakthrough because they misinterpret temporary difficulty as permanent defeat. Those who ultimately claim victory are the ones who choose to keep going despite exhaustion, disappointment, and repeated setbacks. They understand that as long as they are still moving, there is still a chance to win. Life often tests your commitment to your goals by placing obstacles in your path that seem larger than your current strength. These tests are not meant to destroy you, but to prepare you for the success you seek. Every struggle is an invitation to rise to a new level of determination, and every rejection is a reminder to sharpen your focus and keep trying. The decision to fight until the end is not made in a single dramatic moment. It is made in the quiet, consistent choices of each day. It is made every time you refuse to quit after a setback, every time you take one more step toward your dream, and every time you choose effort over excuses. Fighting until the end also requires the ability to block out the voices of doubt, both from within and from the world around you. People may tell you that your dream is unrealistic or that you should settle for less, and your own fears may try to convince you that the struggle is not worth it. But those who win are those who learn to keep moving forward regardless of the noise. They replace doubt with determination, fear with action, and uncertainty with persistence. This inner resolve creates a momentum that eventually carries them past the obstacles that once seemed impossible to overcome. Every step you take in the direction of your goal, no matter how small, is an act of defiance against defeat. The very act of continuing when it would be easier to stop builds a strength that no obstacle can match. Over time, this relentless commitment compounds, creating opportunities and breakthroughs that only appear to those who stay in the fight. Life respects persistence, and it eventually yields to those who refuse to accept anything less than victory. The moment you decide that you will not stop, that you will not surrender, and that you will fight until the very end, you transform yourself into a person who cannot be denied, because the power of unwavering determination always leads to triumph for those who keep moving forward until they win so. When life challenges you, when the path feels long, and when the world tells you to quit, remember this truth: every setback is temporary, every obstacle is a test, and every step forward brings you closer to victory. Refuse to stop, refuse to surrender, and hold on to your dream with unshakable determination, because the journey is never truly over until the moment you decide you have won.